And we're good. We're live. Hello, welcome to the Business Octopus. We are a little bit early today. Sorry. Hopefully you catch the start of it well enough. But I feel weird every time we turn the live button on. There's always this awkward time because it takes like 5 to 7 seconds for it to load. So you're like paused in like getting ready to go and be excited on screen, and then it doesn't happen, and then you're still holding it. Anyway, so we're here. We made it. Hopefully we delayed long enough for our actual start time, which is in 9 minutes from now. So if you're tuning in late, don't worry, you get the record. So what are we talking about today? It is how to build a referral partner program. Now, first of all, how are you going, Amanda? And do you have a referral partner program?
Fabulous. Answer the first question. Answer the second question. An informal one. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is something that could use some firming up and some formalizing, even just on our end, so that we're proactively working with our referral partners, not just doing it on an ad hoc basis. So I'm really curious how you've formalized yours, Avon, and also I'm sure the viewers at home would love to hear how you're kicking goals and how we can set that up for ourselves.
Well, mine's a little informal and it's not entirely perfect, but I've got a lot of experience with partner programs because I've been a partner on like 100 different software programs plus. I've been through the ringer with Salesforce, HubSpot, Microsoft. Tried to get into SAP, which is like talking to a brick. And we're active in with Zoho, and there are other platforms that I've dealt with in the past. In fact, our sales guy Jeremiah, which was the partner manager on Infusionsoft, and he was my partner manager. Now he works with us running partnership programs within Relevate. So I think in terms of maybe if I talk about the ultimate of what it is, and then also talk about what it is for most people and what it probably is, for you. And you don't have to go to the nth degree. If you're thinking about like a software program, generally the big ones, they have a very well established partner program. Their partner programs are designed around having people who sign up for products, then would resell those products. So there's a lot of training requirements. There's a very specific thing, because it's the product, it's a little bit easier. But with someone like you or myself, we're a bit more of a service provider with a bit more of a broad set of experiences and skill sets, particularly, like as a consultant where you've got a specific thing that you solve, then it's very different to having a predetermined specified product. Now I'm working in CRM, but it's basically the same thing, but it's called a PRM, right? A partner relationship management. So you find these people, you recruit these people, you then train these people, you then have a revenue share agreement with these people. There's a contract, you talk them, ideally you run events. Like the big players know that they're the big player. So they make you turn up to events, they make you come along and complete training certifications, and you have to do this certificate and then that one. And some of them monetize it quite a lot. So like Salesforce, you have to pay for all these certifications. And every time you fail, like I failed one 18 times before I passed, and it was difficult. It was very difficult.
Okay, no, that's fair. I just can't picture you failing a test, Avon. It's like baked my noodle for a second.
Yeah, well, like once you've passed it, you're in this sort of like a little, kind of mini elite, I'll say, in that sort of space. But then you've got the informal ones, like the one you're probably doing, which is like, hey, would you refer me? They'll go, yeah, would you refer me? You smile, you nod, you shake hands, you part ways, and nothing happens. So what we want to talk about today is just how to get just a step beyond that to where it actually happens on a regular basis. So what would you say? I don't know, you don't have to pull apart in public your referral program, but if you're open and willing to it, I'll open the floor to you.
Let's go. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so we, like, honestly, informal in that I've even said to my team when, we're out in the wild on socials, because my team work remotely, look for opportunities for the people in our foxhole, to quote, I think it's David Goggins that says that. Like, so they know who our key partners are, Avon being one of them. We've got probably 6 other people, and I actively say to my team, if you're speaking to someone, or if you see any opportunities, make sure that you come back to me so that I can mention, Luke or Kylie or Paul or Avon or whoever it happens to be, so that we're being proactive as best that we can. So that, that is as formal as mine is. It's more about being intentional around helping our close network to find opportunities.
But one thing you're doing is you're humanizing it. It's on a more on a founder to founder level. Like these big software companies, they end up having like partner management, go-to-market teams, trainers.
Absolutely.
And you're doing it through like a sales team, if you will. And it's just a different type of sales. It's channel sales. And then you've got yourself, where it's very much about deep relationships, about building, connections, and spending the time developing those relationships, hanging out with them on a regular basis. I would say half of our marketing is, mostly focused around the existing people that we already have in our network. So, like if I write a clever article or, some like deeply personal post or something like that, the people that typically see it are people that are already in my network, and they're the ones that are reminded that I exist. And that's probably more valuable to me than trying to, get someone cold off the street. Because for what I do, like the main, because I resell software or I'm a partner on particular platforms, any Google keywords or whatever are going to take you straight to the parent entity, the mothership, right? The platform itself. So if I go and market it, I'm a drop in the ocean by comparison. So if you had a unique independent brand, then maybe you could, promote that. But if you were someone who works, more of a consulting basis, works with other people, other things, then it has to be deeply personal. You couldn't possibly ever have a partner network because you are not a product. You are not a single definable thing. There's multiple.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing, just as you were talking there, Avon, that came to mind for me, as someone that's been in other people's partner programs, let me share with the team at home what's really frustrating if you're in a partner program. So the best partner programs as a business we've been a part of, they're consistent. So they consistently provide us with training, tools, and a point of contact so that to set us up for success. And there's a monetary kickback. I'm not going to lie. Like that's nice. It's with yourself, specifically with those software platforms, right? When it's done poorly, there might be a monetary kickback, but there's no support. So you're not educating us on how to best represent your product. You're not letting us know, consistently what the changes are with your product, because some of these, and yourself, Avon, you can literally open it up one day and, the dashboard can be completely different, and the couple of products that we represent, and that's never been communicated to us at times. It's really frustrating when it's been handled poorly. So if you want to set your partners up for success, communicate often, communicate clearly, ask them what they need to set them up to win. So that would be my feedback as someone who's been in really great ones and then really terrible ones.
Yeah, I think the like in the partner programs, if obviously you're training, like there's going to be 1,000 information points. Like I can barely keep up. Like there are channels to tell us what's going on, but there's just so much volume of information. I can't be in all of those chats. Then, they run programs like MVPs or most valuable partners, but these, because it's somewhat institutional in the fact that you've got this large business, then they've got this massive knowledge base. They've got hundreds of workers working on the thing. to build the software product. So it is very different, and then that becomes more of like a partner program or a channel program by magnitude and by structure. But I think most of the people listening to us, the partner program that we're mostly speaking of is the one that you or I would run, where it's more deeply connected and personal. And I think that, there's been many of occasions when people have gone, oh, we should have a chat. And, it feels like a friendly hello, but then all they're after is my network. And all they're after is, oh, bring us leads, we'll give you 10%. I don't care. I'm not like, what does that really mean? Like what's actually incentivizing the partner programs? Like with these software products, many of them now go, yep, we'll pay you commissions, but it falls off after 12 months. Or they go, I will support you. Like the one we work with now, it falls off after 4 years. So it's pretty good. Actually, no, they changed it recently. So it's a smaller amount, but it's ongoing. So
cool. Nice.
But when I first started with Infusionsoft, for example, that had a 30% ongoing. Like you had tiers. So like if you're just getting started, it was 10%. If you're doing all right, above this amount, it was 20. If you're a rock star, you got 30. But then after a certain point, people stopped trying because they had this recurring revenue. And I think yes, they put some guardrails on it to say, well, unless you bring us a new one every 12 months, we're going to just disregard all the previous. Or they'll say, no, we now want to make it all fall off after 12 months. So then that stops the partners really investing in the brand, because they go, well, I can get a better deal somewhere else. I want to be supported. This is why Go High Level works. It doesn't work really well. It's being sold really well because people can charge what they want with it. And if they can spin it a certain way, then they can get quite a lot of money in commissions and ongoings for it. The problem is that the partner always wears the loss, if there's any, or non-payment. And the problem is also that they've made it almost like a pyramid scheme. So now it seems more dishonest and spammy and scammy than the value that the actual program actually brings. So 100%. But on an individual level, what you really need to do, I think, is connect with, like on founder to founder basis. So if you have a look at, like as a consultant, you're trying to build a partner program, you're trying to find someone who can refer you in. Generally, you have either a rare skill set, or you need the right person at the right time, or the client doesn't know themselves that they need this thing, so they're never going to go shopping for it. So you need someone who's a swimming lane partner, who's like kind of like you, adjacent at a different point in the same pool. Maybe you service the same type of client. Maybe they do their thing before you do your thing, or at around about the same time. So like the best referrer for new home furniture is a wedding celebrant.
Oh, I like that. Well done. Yeah, cool.
And then first home buyers and all that sort of stuff. So that is quite a common thing where that person doesn't do what you do. They do work with the same client, but then they're going to refer you in at the right point in the chain. So how do we build those relationships? I have a way, and because most of the time people are very much like, I'm going to sell you my thing, and that's it. Like it's a here's my flyer. Like it's not a very personalized relationship, but there's no investment as to why they would actually give you that. So I've got this game plan and the whole idea of this is just rapid values alignment and make sure that I'm talking to the right person. So I just got a little bit of an upfront, like, who am I and what do I care about? What am I trying to do, and what am I trying to do by this document? And the point is, it's ugly. It is not supposed to be a flyer. I have experimented with glossy things, and I've experimented with ugly. This one I think kind of does the right thing at the right level. And so you've got your dot points. There's my some values, and then I say, here's what I'm doing on my projects. Different business units, and then kind of like the goals, and then from that, it's really just enough to go, do you want to have a conversation? Do we align? Is there anything in there that goes, there is no way that I would ever do any kind of work with you? If that's the case, then you need to weed them out as fast as possible and get to the real conversation. Get past the smoke and mirrors, get past the sales persona. You see it wash off someone at a certain point. It's like a cloak that they put on. When you walk into a networking event and they do their 60-second pitch and they're like, hi, I'm Dave. You know, like 10-second Tom off, what's that movie? 50 First Dates. They're like, hi, I'm Tom. And then you start having a conversation, they turn the next guy, hi, I'm Tom.
Yeah.
So robotic. That's a networking event.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many of these disgusting things that go on. And these are the people that are like, oh, you give me business, I'll give you business. But then everyone's like looking at each other, goes, who's going to move first? No one trusts each other. No one's going to go, I think you should do this because, or I want to introduce my client to you because I think you are super valuable to that person. And then that's going to improve my relationship with them and then unlock something for me as well. Only happens when you trust them.
That's right. And to your point, Avon, I'll share an experience I had recently and one of our colleagues had recently with the same person. So we had encountered this person out in the wild and they wanted to do the referral partner thing. It's like, okay, great, cool. We explained our business to them. And for both of us, we were given like not even remotely good referrals, like completely off the mark. So this person clearly did not listen or care or have any interest in helping us out, just wanted to harvest our connections. So I found that really interesting. So, and for me, I'm one of those people that, you know, I just assume everyone has the best intentions. So that one floored me a little bit. Avon's like, very naive, Amanda. Very naive.
No. Like I agree. And you know, like you spend I want to invest time with people and I don't want to invest time with the wrong people. So when someone gives me an introduction and it's the wrong person, I feel like I've wasted my time. So it would be far better for that person to truly understand. And if they're off the mark a couple times, that's fine. But if they're for the most part on the mark, well, great. But if it's just like, I found a business card in the gutter, I thought you might want it. Here you go.
Yeah. No. And that was very much the energy that I'm talking about here. Like just I'm gonna like pluck, you know, 3-4 people out of the ether, just so that I can then harvest your network. Don't be that guy, friends. Don't do it. Yuck.
It's got to be a two-way street, and you got to. Like, you know, I think, you know, in our own examples, and I hope this interaction is going well, but it's a very long interaction. I introduced you to somebody, but I didn't just, like, I couldn't do it for the first little while because I felt I didn't know enough or I didn't have the right person at the right time. And then when I heard what I needed to hear from that person, I said, you have to speak to Amanda. And then I made that introduction. You know, it's taken a couple of months for them to get around to that, and so far I think it's going well. I don't you don't have to do it live, but I think that the point is, you know, some of these, like the really good relationships, take time.
Absolutely. This is a long game. It's not like, you know, one of those networking groups where you're, you know, like, you know, death by 1,000 business cards, or there's those forced referrals. It's not about that. Go build relationships with your swim lane partners, like Avon was talking about, and allow it to be the long game. Don't force anything, because as you talk about this, Avon, exponential network growth, sort of, you know, as my network grows, Avon's is growing by default because I know his business well enough to basically be him to a point in a room, like be able to pitch him or explain what he does and how he helps, and listen for the challenges that he helps business owners overcome.
But the other value is then, like, you can deliver value to your network through my network, in the sense that it doesn't always have to be you and me. So maybe someone
every time.
But you know, maybe someone in your network that you talk about to me, to say, this person has whatever drama or issue, I could say, well, I know someone that could help solve that over there. And then we can make an introduction that doesn't involve either of us directly, but that creates additional value for both the people that are solving whatever problem, and then they both look at us positively. So some people struggle to wrap their head around that, but it's sort of like 2 or 3 steps down the chain, and then that's that sort of contact sphere value that sort of comes down the chain. All right. Well, I think we've had a pretty good one. We are technically only 10 minutes in, but we've been going for 20 minutes. So we started early, so we're going to finish early, but we've gone for our standard time. So if you're tuning in at 8, apologies. That was my mistake setting up the live stream. I didn't click the schedule for this time because we get in early. We try to prepare. But hey, live is when you make the most mistakes.
It's the most fun. We're professionals at this now, surely, Avon. Come on.
Yeah. We've moved mountains to try and stay on schedule and keep this running for quite a while.
Yeah, so, we actually have. It's go team. On that note, Avon, tell them about the community.
Yes. So, well, we're talking about building referral partners. We're talking about finding those swim lane people who are really good at what they do. They're vetted, they're trusted, and we're building a core group where this is what we do. This is where we actively spend time figuring each other out. We filter out the crap as hard and as fast as possible. And by doing so, we create exponential value for each other. So check out the network below, join.relevate.com.au. See if you're a fit. If you're not, then more than welcome to enjoy the rest of your life. We wish you all the best. But otherwise, hopefully you've enjoyed today. Please do give a like, a subscribe, and a comment, and let us know what you thought. If you've got any additional questions or topics you want us to discuss, you can let us know in the community or just in the comments. But otherwise, take care. Stay classy.
Stay classy.